Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kevin Will Kick You YouTube channel. And today we are talking about that amazing game between the US and Canada in the gold medal game in women's hockey in the Winter Olympics. What a game! That game was absolutely fantastic. It's early candidate for game of the year in any sport. And it was really a moment in American history. It really was. This is one of those games where you don't forget where you were when you saw what happened. Of course, Canada is leading 1-0. It was on a goal by O'Neill for Canada. It was a shorthanded goal, and I know if there's any Islanders fans out there, it reminded me of the 2021 semifinals against the Lightning, where it was game 7. The Islanders were one win away from going to the Stanley Cup final, and Tampa Bay won it on a shorthanded goal. And I was getting flashbacks of that in this game, and I'm like, please tell me we don't lose 1-0 on a shorthanded goal after this team has dominated for so long. And that's not how it ended up going. Hillary Knight scores her 15th career Olympic goal, her 33rd point, and she now has the most points in the history of U.S. Olympic hockey, men or women. So fantastic job for Hillary Knight. And she tied it late in the game when we had the extra attacker. And then in overtime, Megan Keller on the backhand gets the goal, and the United States wins 2-1 against Canada. An incredible hockey game. It really was. And you probably understood that that was how it was going to be. To the people who thought that Team USA was just going to demolish Canada in the gold medal game, like they did to every other team so far in the Olympics, including Canada in the not in the group stage. That's just not how this works. It's a gold medal game. You're playing for royalty. Yeah, these women will be known in their country and around the world as Olympic gold medalists for the rest of their lives. So this means something. So you knew that Canada was going to bring their A game, and they did. They played a fantastic game. And this was a team that the US has dominated as of recently. They beat them in the preliminary round of the World Cup in 2025, 2-1. Then in the gold medal game, 4-3 in overtime. Then they have this thing called the rivalry series. They play every year because these two teams are such big rivals. The U.S. won those games 4-1, 6-1, 10-4, and then 4-1. And then in the preliminary round of these Olympics, they beat them 5-0. They've outscored Canada 35-11 in those games. So obviously, you knew that this wasn't going to be a blowout, and it was a close game. It was a tight game, very entertaining game, and we ended up winning. And these girls are going to be remembered forever. And much like there's a lot of players on this edition of the men's hockey team that was inspired by the 1980, Olympic Miracle on Ice team, there's going to be a lot of girls that are going to be um, idolizing this team and are going to get into hockey because of girls, or sorry, because of women like Layla Edwards, the first black woman to ever win a gold medal in hockey. Shout out Layla Edwards, Hillary Knight, Megan Keller. These girls are going to be famous forever. They're going to be the new Alex Morgans, Hope Solos, Abby Wambachs, Megan Rapinos. Unfortunately, the way that this country works when it comes to supporting women athletes, you have to be great. You have to be winning in order for people to pay attention. I don't think that women's soccer increases in popularity, and you don't have things like the NWSL, if you don't have those gold medal winning teams of the 2010s winning those titles. Unfortunately, in order for people to care about women's sports in this country, you have to be winning. They aren't just going to tune into your sport just on a whim, just because you're a man. You know, people are going to watch the NBA because it's the NBA. It's the highest level of basketball. People are now tuning into the WNBA because it's getting a lot better than it was in the past. It sucks. It's a terrible reality that we live in. That's another struggle that women have to go through. They have to fight harder and be even greater just to get recognition. It's unfortunate. It is the way it is. Am I saying that this hockey team isn't going to be remembered as fondly if they don't win it? I think there will be a letdown. Before this game, the announcers were saying that this was the greatest U.S. women's hockey team of all time. Now, in my opinion, you can't be that if you don't actually win the gold medal. It don't mean a thing if you don't get a ring, but I still think that this team would be, thought of fondly. But now that they won the gold medal, they're immortalized. They're going to be remembered forever. I literally, after this game, I bought myself a T-shirt commemorating the championship. Was it way too expensive? Hell yes. Should I have spent that much money on a T-shirt? No, I don't. I don't even want to disclose how much money I spent on it. I'm not proud of it, but you know what? I'm proud of this country and I'm proud of these women, and they've made this entire country proud, and they were able to unify the country at least for one day. We're going through a lot in America. Um, and I've said it before. I'm always gonna root for Team USA. I'm not gonna root against my country, but I will root against the people who are running it. I hate the way country is being ran. I hate the direction that it's going in. But these athletes have put in too much time and effort and have waited their whole life for this moment. And I'm not gonna root against them because our president is like literally the worst person ever and is quite literally Satan himself. And there isn't a punishment deep enough and big enough for the crimes that he's committed. And that's why, unfortunately, we have to wait until his passing. But this is getting morbid. This is getting more. We need to be celebrating. We need to be celebrating these women because they are fantastic athletes. And what this game taught me is I need to lock in on the PWHL. When their season starts back up, I'm going to be locked in. Apparently, all their games are free on YouTube, which I learned. So when the season starts back up, I'm going to be rooting for these girls. Obviously, I already have a team. I'm a New York sports fan. I grew up in New York for the first 20 years of my life. So as of right now, I am a diehard New York Sirens fan. I'm going out to Long Island next month for an Islanders game. I'm going up with my dad. We're driving up, and we're gonna see some family and stuff. And I looked. Unfortunately, there are no times in that week that I'm going to be there that the New York Sirens are going to be playing. They're going to be playing in the Prudential Center in Jersey, but they're not even playing a game in that time frame. So hopefully, at one point, I'll be able to see the New York Sirens, whether it be in their home arena or it expands enough to where I can see them maybe in like Charlotte or Atlanta or something. But for now, that does it for this video. Shout out everyone involved in the U.S. women's hockey team. All of you are legends. If you want to be a legend, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you drop a comment telling me how much you enjoyed this video. And if you want to follow me on social media, follow me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Kevin Blakicki. Thank you so much. Have a great day.